Everyone assumes you're lying. When you tell them you've never been in love, they smile like you're confused about the definition. Like maybe you mean you've never been married, or never had a serious relationship, or never felt that specific brand of infatuation they saw in a movie once. But you mean exactly what you said. You've never felt it, that thing. The thing people write songs about, go to war over, destroy their lives for. The thing that's supposed to be universal, inevitable, the cornerstone of human experience. You've watched it happen to other people. You've seen friends become unrecognizable, making choices that seem insane from the outside but make perfect sense to them because they're in love. You've nodded along when people talk about butterflies and racing hearts and knowing someone's the one. You've performed understanding when really you're just translating from a language you've never actually spoken. And the strangest part? You're not sure if something's missing in you, or if everyone else is just really good at pretending. Either way, you're walking through a world built for people who feel something you don't, and you've gotten very good at not letting anyone notice. Let's be clear about what we're actually talking about. This isn't about never having dated. Plenty of people who've never been in love have had relationships. Some have had many. This isn't about being aromantic, though some people are, and that's valid. This is about people who want to feel it, who are open to it, who keep waiting for it to arrive like everyone promised it would. But it just doesn't. You've had crushes, maybe. Infatuations that lasted a few weeks before fading into indifference. You've been attracted to people. You've liked people. You've even cared about people deeply. But that thing everyone describes, that overwhelming, consuming, change your whole life feeling, that's never happened. And you're starting to wonder if it ever will. Or worse, if you're even capable of it. People talk about love like it's a switch that flips. You meet someone, and suddenly everything's different. Colors are brighter, food tastes better. The world makes sense in a way it didn't before, but your switch has never flipped. You've met incredible people, kind people, attractive people, compatible people, and you felt appreciation, fondness, comfort, sometimes desire, but never that thing, never the fireworks, never the certainty, just a quiet sort of pleasantness that everyone assures you isn't enough. Here's what nobody tells you. Our culture is organized around the assumption that everyone falls in love. Every movie ends with it. Every song is about it. Every life milestone is structured around it. First love, true love, marriage, growing old together. And if you're someone who's never felt it, you're living off script in a way that makes people uncomfortable. Because if you haven't been in love by a certain age, people start making assumptions. You're damaged. You're afraid of intimacy. You have commitment issues. You're too picky. You're not trying hard enough. You're secretly gay. You're secretly asexual. You're secretly broken. The idea that you might just be someone who hasn't experienced love yet, or might not experience it the way others do, doesn't compute. Because love is supposed to be universal. If you haven't felt it, something must be wrong. And after hearing that enough times, you start to believe it. But here's the paradox. Many people who've never been in love are deeply capable of connection. They have rich friendships, close family bonds, meaningful relationships. They're not emotionally stunted. They're not incapable of care. They just haven't felt that specific configuration of emotions that gets labeled as romantic love. And maybe that's because romantic love, as we've constructed it, is more specific and conditional than we like to admit. Maybe it requires the right person at the right time in the right circumstances with the right neurochemistry. Maybe it's not actually universal. Maybe some people are just wired differently. Or maybe they're still waiting, and the waiting itself has become its own kind of identity. Meet Alex, 32, has dated seriously 3 times. Each relationship followed the same pattern. It started well. The person was great, compatible, interested, and Alex tried, really tried, to feel more than he did. He did the things you're supposed to do. Planned dates, had deep conversations, introduced them to friends, tried to imagine a future, But there was always this distance, this internal observer noting that he wasn't feeling what he was supposed to feel. No racing heart, no obsessive thoughts, no desperate need to be near them, just a pleasant enjoyment of their company that everyone told him wasn't love. So each relationship ended the same way. The other person wanting more, Alex being honest that he couldn't give it. Both of them confused about why it didn't work when it should have. Now Alex doesn't date much, because it feels dishonest to start something when he's not sure he's capable of giving what people want. And he wonders if maybe he's just not built for this. If everyone else got an instruction manual, he somehow missed. Meet Sophia, 28, watches her friends fall in love and feels like she's watching a play in a foreign language. They describe feelings she's never had, intensity she can't imagine, certainty about another person that seems impossible to her. She's attracted to people. She's slept with people. She's even lived with someone for a year. But love? That consuming, can't live without you feeling? Never. And the worst part is the loneliness of it. Not loneliness from being single. Loneliness from being unable to share an experience that everyone else seems to have access to. It's like everyone's tasted chocolate except you. And they keep describing it. And you keep nodding, but you have no reference point. So you learn to fake it, to echo back the language, to perform understanding. But inside, you feel like an alien studying human behavior, close enough to pass, never close enough to belong. Meet James, 41, has accepted he might never feel it. He's stopped waiting, stopped wondering what's wrong with him, stopped trying to force feelings that don't come naturally. He has a good life, friends, hobbies, work he cares about, and he's made peace with the possibility that romantic love might not be part of his story. Some people never travel. Some people never have kids. Some people never fall in love. It doesn't make the life less valid, but he still feels the weight of it sometimes. The cultural narrative that says a life without romantic love is somehow incomplete. The pitying looks when he shows up to weddings alone. The concerned questions from family. The assumption that he must be lonely. He's not lonely. He's just different. And different, in a world built for sameness, requires constant explanation. Let's go deeper into the psychology. Why do some people never fall in love? Sometimes it's attachment theory. People with avoidant attachment styles learned early that closeness is dangerous, that dependency leads to pain. So their nervous system developed a sophisticated defense mechanism. It allows connection up to a point, then shuts down when things get too close. It's not conscious. It's not a choice. It's a deeply wired protection strategy. And love, real love, requires vulnerability that their system won't allow. Sometimes it's about standards that are actually walls. The person tells themselves they're waiting for the right person, for someone who meets their criteria. But the criteria keeps shifting. Every potential partner has a disqualifying flaw, some small thing that becomes a reason to not invest. And underneath that is fear. Fear of being known, fear of being hurt, fear of losing themselves in another person. So they stay protected and call it being selective. Sometimes it's neurochemistry. Falling in love involves specific brain chemistry. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin. A cocktail that creates obsession, attachment, euphoria. But not everyone's brain produces that cocktail in response to romantic situations. Some people are on medications that blunt emotional intensity. Some people have depression or anxiety that interferes with attachment. Some people's brains just don't light up the same way. It's not a character flaw, it's biology. And biology doesn't care about cultural expectations. Sometimes it's about never meeting the right person at the right time, because timing matters more than we admit. You can meet someone perfect for you when you're not ready and nothing happens. Or you can be ready and never meet anyone who sparks that feeling. Love isn't just about finding someone good. It's about finding someone who activates something specific in you at a moment when you're capable of receiving it. And that's a lot of variables. It's not surprising that for some people, those variables never align. Here's what it actually feels like to have never been in love. It's watching romantic comedies and feeling like you're watching science fiction. Interesting, but fundamentally unrelatable. It's people asking about your love life and not knowing how to answer. Because the truth makes them uncomfortable and lying feels exhausting. It's wondering if you're missing out on something essential, or if you're just free of something that makes other people act insane. It's the guilt when someone falls for you and you can't reciprocate, not because they're not good enough, but because the feeling just isn't there. It's starting to identify more with the villain in stories than the romantic lead, because at least the villain has motivation you understand. It's the subtle grief, not for a person you lost, but for an experience you've never had and might never have. And it's the defiance, the quiet rebellion against a world that insists you're incomplete without romantic love. Because you've built a whole life, a meaningful life, without it, and maybe that proves that love isn't actually the prerequisite for meaning that everyone claims it is. But here's the complicated part. Even as you defend your experience, even as you insist you're fine, there's a part of you that wonders, what if I'm wrong? What if I am missing something essential? What if love would actually change everything and I'm just too defended to let it in? What if I'm capable of it, but I've been protecting myself so well that I've locked it out? And you can't know. That's the torment of it. You can't know if you're incapable or just haven't met the right catalyst yet. So you exist in this liminal space, not quite convinced you're broken, not quite convinced you're whole, just waiting. Or not waiting, or pretending not to wait while secretly hoping. So what do you do if you've never been in love? First, stop letting other people define your timeline. There's no expiration date, no age by which love must happen or it means something's wrong with you. Some people fall in love at 15, some at 50, some never. All of those are valid timelines. Second, examine your relationship with vulnerability. Are you letting people actually see you, or are you showing them a curated version? Because love requires being known, and being known requires risk. If you're protecting yourself from that risk, you might be protecting yourself from love too. Third, check your narratives. Are you telling yourself stories about why people aren't right? Stories that conveniently keep you safe? They're too this, they're not enough that. Maybe those stories are accurate. Or maybe they're defense mechanisms. Only you can know which. Fourth, consider that love might look different for you. Maybe you're not built for the Hollywood version, the obsessive, passionate, lose-yourself kind. Maybe your version is quieter, slower, built on compatibility and trust, rather than chemistry and fireworks. And maybe that's not less than just different. Fifth, make peace with uncertainty. You might fall in love tomorrow. You might never fall in love. You can't control it. What you can control is building a life that doesn't require romantic love to be meaningful. Because here's the truth. Love is beautiful, but it's not the only beautiful thing. And a life without it can still be full, rich, profound, complete. Here's what I need you to understand. Whether you ever fall in love or not doesn't determine your worth. You're not broken. You're not deficient. You're not incomplete. You're just someone whose path looks different than the prescribed one. And maybe that path leads to love eventually, in a form you don't recognize yet, with a person you haven't met yet. At a time when you've stopped looking for it, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe you build a beautiful life filled with friendship and purpose and solitude and creation. Maybe you become the person people come to when romantic love fails them, because you've never mistaken it for salvation. Maybe you're free in a way that people who've organized their entire lives around romantic love will never be. Either way, you get to decide what your life means. Not the culture, not the movies, not the people who pity you for something you don't miss. You. And the moment you stop waiting for love to complete you and start building completeness anyway, everything shifts. Not because love suddenly arrives, though it might, but because you've stopped making your worth conditional on an experience you can't control. Picture this. You're at a wedding. Everyone's crying during the vows, swept up in the emotion, the romance, the promise of forever. And you're watching, feeling oddly detached, not cold, not cynical, just observant. And someone next to you whispers, "Isn't this beautiful?" And you say yes. because it is. Beautiful for them, meaningful for them, true for them. But you're not sure it would be true for you. And instead of shame, you feel something else. Curiosity. About what your version of beauty looks like. What your version of meaning feels like. Because maybe the point isn't to feel what everyone else feels. Maybe the point is to feel what's true for you. And if that never includes romantic love, that doesn't make your emotional life less rich. It just makes it yours. Unmapped, unscripted, uncompromising. And maybe that's not a loss. Maybe that's freedom.